Hey Stansell team, it's Angelica, and welcome to the next episode of the Stansell Blueprint. This is part 2 of our 3-part series going through the Stansell 4 pillars, which of course are integrity, character, work ethic, and how we treat people. In the last episode, we sat with Jim Kurtz and we went through character and integrity, and it was a great conversation, a lot of big takeaways. If you did not watch that episode, I would highly suggest you pause this one, go watch that one, and then come to this one, because today we are talking about work ethic. And it's the character and integrity piece really lead into this next pillar, so please go watch that. But today I'm super excited because I'm joined by someone who shaped my definition of what it means to work hard and really just exemplifies work ethic to a T. And super excited to have the one, the only John Stege on the couch. And we're just going to talk all about work ethic today, a little bit about competency and what that means as a pillar and what it means for Stansell. So welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be a guest on the world famous Blueprint. So, looking forward to this conversation.
Wonderful. Well, let's start with your story. Can you share a bit about your journey of where you were to where you are now and how work ethic kind of got you here?
I certainly can. I'm going to go way back.
Mm,
So, this goes back to your great grandfather,
okay.
my mom's dad. And I was literally 8 years old when I first started working. And they had a resort up in northern Wisconsin where a lot of the people from the Chicago area, southern Wisconsin, would go vacation in the summer. And so it's kind of a seasonal thing, but my mom was working there, like cleaning cabins and stuff. So she would bring me along, and my grandmother had this idea. She would pay me like 1 cent per cigarette butt that I could pick up, because in those days in the 70s everybody smoked, so there were cigarette butts everywhere. So my first job was literally picking up cigarette butts for a penny a piece. And that turned into, actually, by the time I was 10 or 11 years old, I was cleaning boats and painting cabins. And I actually worked there through high school. And then I got a couple other jobs in between. But my grandfather was really, he really taught me work ethic. Like he understood what it meant to work. He was a self-made man. Wanted to instill that in me. So that's where that came from. Grew up in an era where my family had no money. So if I wanted something, I had to buy it. I had to earn enough money to go buy it, including if I wanted a A&W root beer, I had to save enough money to go buy root beer. Or if I wanted new clothes for school, I had to buy them myself. My parents weren't buying my clothes. So that was a lot of where initially it came from. And then in high school, I wanted a car. So I had to get a job. I started working for McDonald's. That was actually my second job, other than working for family. And so I worked all the way through high school. And when I graduated from high school, got into the management program at McDonald's. And McDonald's has just an outstanding program for training and developing and teaching you what it means to be in the workforce. I mean, even today, McDonald's has a 1 in 8 program where one person out of every 8 people in the workforce worked at McDonald's at some point in their career. And so I think that had a lot to do with, my work ethic, my wanting to be a part of something special, and just carrying my own weight and paying my own way. So I think that's really the foundation of where that came from. And then, when I worked here in this area for McDonald's, Bob Brickman, which is still a very good friend of mine to this day. I mean, that man really taught you what it meant to be a good leader, and to how to treat people, how to get the most out of people, and then how to give the most uh, as an employee, and do it because yeah, you wanted to, not because you were threatened by losing your job. It was like you wanted to be a contributor. I think that's what work ethic, really is it's not just working a lot of hours. I mean, people think that if you have a good work ethic, it means you're the first person in and the last person out, and you work every Saturday and half the day on Sunday, and that that means you have good work ethic. I mean, good work ethic means that you understand what it takes to do your job, and you put in the the effort necessary to do your job at a high level.
Mhm.
So,
Good story.
yeah.
Sorry, I was just listening. Not a very good podcast host. Okay. Um, okay. So that's obviously a great story. Why do you think that work ethic is so important for what we do at Stansell?
Well, the other part of work ethic is, being competent, right?
Hmm.
Like understanding your role, your responsibilities. I think the other, so you have to invest in yourself to the tune of making sure that you're capable of doing your job well because you understand it well.
Mm.
But the other side of work ethic, or another side of work ethic, is not wanting or allowing other people to have to pick up your slack.
Mm.
So if my definition of work ethic is I have a job to do. My It's my responsibility to do that job at a super high level and to do it in such a way that I'm making the people that work around me their job easier, or at least putting them in a position where they can do their job well.
Mm.
And what I'm doing is not diminishing their ability to do that. So um, I think from that standpoint of doing everything that you have to do to make sure that you're executing your job description at the best possible level, if not exceeding that. That's
Mm.
good work ethic to me.
Yeah.
But and then I go back to the competency piece too. Like you have to invest in yourself. You have to spend the time that is necessary outside of your sitting at your desk or working in the field or whatever it is you're doing to invest in yourself in such a way that you are the best at what you do. Like you understand your job inside and out. If you're a superintendent, that means investing the necessary time to study the plans before the job starts so that you've built that job in your head 3 times, and it's all you got to do is go out there and execute it.
Mm.
If you're a project manager, and we have the leadership training that we're doing, that you're investing the time to get the most out of that so that you're becoming a better leader.
Mm.
um, every position within the organization, if you're an area supervisor, your job is to be the best teacher and trainer that you can be. So that means you might need to read a book on your time to understand how to be a better leader, how to be a better teacher,
Mm.
how to train people. So I think that's how you become competent,
Mm.
is you invest in yourself in a way that makes you the best.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, part of it is we have very high expectations for the people that work at Stansell. That's just,
Yeah,
we as leadership hold ourselves up to such a high level, right?
yeah,
We all work incredibly hard, arguably harder than we need to sometimes, for this team, and we expect that same level from them, and for them to invest in themselves just show that they, appreciate that, they respect that, and they're willing to do the work to help
yeah.
us get to where we're going.
No, I think that's a great point. I think that's one thing that makes our leadership team so great, is that we actually challenge ourselves in such a way that we don't want to let each other down.
Mm-hmm.
And we spend a lot of time talking about, let's make sure that we're staying in our own lane, but when our lanes cross, we're not stepping on each other's toes in the process.
Yeah.
So,
That's something I think we do a great job about is really leading by example and
yeah,
showing that we're willing to roll up our sleeves and do the work too. So,
absolutely.
so work ethic and competency are obviously not something you're born with, but they are pillars and traits that can be developed. What is advice you would give someone who feels like this specifically is the pillar that they need to work on?
Yeah, I would go back to what I said a minute ago and invest in yourself. Spend some quality, quiet time. Reflecting is one thing. You gotta if you want to if you want to have better work ethic, or you want to be more competent, or you feel, the first place to look is in the mirror.
Mm.
Like, look in the mirror and go, I've been doing this now for 15 years, right? And I do that all the time. Like, how can I be a better president? Or, how can I contribute more to the team? How can I embrace technology in a way that proves that I'm, behind it, and all that. And so, there's hundreds of things that each of us have to do every day to be good at our job. But you have to be willing to look in the mirror and say, this is an area where I'm strong, and this is an area where I have to improve.
Mm.
And the areas that I have to improve, what are the steps that I need to take to do that? And some of that might be, reading, it might be listening to a book, it might be going to a seminar, it might be getting involved in something outside of Stansell that makes you better. And it might be asking to sit down with your boss and say, hey, I realize that this is an area of opportunity for me. What do I need to do to be better at it?
Mm.
You know, and I don't think there's anybody on the leadership team or anybody in this organization in a leadership position that wouldn't respect that and want to invest the time in the person who's asking the question to how to get better, to help them get better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Utilize STEP.
Step, absolutely. No,
Specifically.
that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is so much information in there,
Mhm.
and such an investment by the team to put that together,
Yeah.
both financially and the time that's been spent on it. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, for sure. So for someone who wants to say they want to get promoted or they want to grow with Stansel in another way, become a leader, what would be some words of encouragement you would give them?
Yeah, that's a great question. And when you sent that email to me, I thought about that a little bit. It was like, first thing you got to do is let us know you're interested in growing.
True.
You know what I mean? Because um, don't just assume that you're out there, you know busting your hump, and we appreciate it, but that we know that that means that it's because you want to grow. You
Mm-hmm.
have to come to us and tell us you have to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then you have to be willing to do what it is, that's expected of the position.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best things I learned in my career, because every job I ever had, I always advanced to the next thing as quickly as possible. That was my thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I just got promoted. What's the next position I can get?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I learned is, if you want the position, you do the job first,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get the promotion,
Mm-hmm.
instead of getting promoted to a leadership position and then showing that you're capable of leading is not the way to do it.
Yeah.
You have to prove that you have leadership qualities, um, and that you have the competency, and that you've been willing to invest in yourself, and that's how you're going to get promoted at
Mm-hmm.
Stansell.
Yeah.
As obviously the great part about the organization is that we continue to grow. There
Yeah.
continues to be opportunities for growth, and um, I think we all agree that we would much rather promote people from within the organization than go outside the organization and try
Mm-hmm.
to try to bring somebody in and acclimate them to the Stansel way.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I mean, we have those four pillars and they all intertwine, you can't have one without the other,
right?
I think. And you can have a ton of work ethic, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you treat people well or that you have a strong
That's right.
integrity. So when thinking about advancing in Stansel, you need to embody all four pillars. You can't just work hard and expect that you're going to grow.
That's a very good point. I
Yeah.
100% agree with
Yeah.
that. Oh yeah, no, that's true, and I'm glad. The four pillars sometimes seem like it's just very obvious that that's what an organization should have, but I'm so glad that we established them and that we talk about them as much as we do
Mm,
because, um, to your point, if you don't have all four, you might be able to get by. You might be able to plow your way through and get some things done, but you'll never be a complete person
mm,
in this organization or in life. Those four pillars apply to, not just Stansel,
right,
everything.
right.
You live that way, you're going to have a good life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want you to have a good life at Stansel.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for joining
My
us.
pleasure.
It's been wonderful having you.
Okay.
And like I mentioned earlier, go back, make sure you watch Character and Integrity. This was Work Ethic. Next one is about how we treat people. And I think that's a solo for me because I guess I'm the picture child. What is that? The photo child?
Poster
The
child.
poster child of treating people well. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for joining us, the Stansel Blueprint. We'll see y'all next time.